Arisen Force Vonimir is set to release onto the Nintendo Switch early next year, and today I'm going to go over pretty much all of the brand new information that we got with this brand new game reveal that certainly from the looks of it looks incredible. I'm a big advocate for HD 2D gaming, and certainly a developer that is willing to take on a project like that and make it look interesting, but also follow that up with really good gameplay is something that is going to be catching my eye. This game is not only going to be launching onto the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC via Steam is also being planned for early next year as well, although the developers do say that it could be pushed until like later 2024 as well. But regardless of that, it looks extremely promising. First and foremost, in their latest blog update, they mentioned that Arisen Force Vonimir as an action RPG featuring exquisite high-definition pixels. It combines an engaging RPG adventure storyline with a stylistic action-based combat experience. They've created a magnificent Middle-earth world for the players to explore and go out on an adventure, recruit plenty of brand new teammates, collect and develop businesses, challenge enemies, reveal the secrets of the world, guide the future, and lastly, of course, if you have time, forge your own legend. So this is one of those RPGs that once again mentions and promotes plenty of brand new in-game things that you can actually do. It isn't just a traditional story from point A to point B. Whenever you visit a town, you'll have plenty of things to do, and that is something that is part of the key features. They mentioned that a magnificent fantasy world full of players to explore and develop, plus other interesting experiences that you'll get to see along the way. So essentially a lot of twists that they suggest for the overall story. They mentioned that an exquisite high-definition shade of pixel style and ingenuity with hand-painted pixels as you experience a picturesque playstyle. I'm not necessarily sure ultimately what that means. They could have just said HD 2D-esque, and that's pretty much all players really need to know. They mentioned that for the remote villages, from remote villages to a magnificent castle and desolate deserts to silver ice sheets, enjoy a vast, distinctive landscapes to explore whenever you're out in the overworld. And that is something that we do get to see a very short glimpse of here in this brand new reveal trailer, where the biomes that you're exploring can certainly look lively and colorful as that. They also mentioned that in a chaotic world, interact with all of the forces and chronicle your very own epic chapters. What that ultimately means is that you are going to be making decisions whenever you are advancing through the story, and some of those will affect the way the story develops. A lot of RPGs are doing that nowadays, so it isn't too much of a surprise. Whether that ultimately alters the ending to something completely different remains to be seen. Smooth action gameplay, strategic combat with rich skill modules. Instantly switch between teammates at any time, challenge world bosses, and the ultimate path will always be left up to you, the player. So not only do they mention, of course, plenty of skills of customizations and strategies whenever you're in the middle of combat, they do confirm you can switch control of any one of your party members that you have active at any one time in the middle of combat. They also confirmed that, of course, world bosses will be part of this game, so pretty much you can explore to your heart's content and be able to come across some really interesting foes. Next, they mentioned that more than 8 kinds of unique weapon modules will become available, which will continue to be enriched with follow-up developments. So not only did they confirm that at the very least you'll have 8 different weapon types to be able to use on your characters, although presumably some of the characters will be able to have just certain weapons available to them, more weapons and presumably more weapon types will become available post-launch via support. So they are already confirming that post-launch support will be something that this game will be getting. It is also worth mentioning that it's not a free-to-play game or anything along those lines. So ultimately, it's a single-player story that already is planning for post-launch support, and that's always a good thing. They also mentioned that a free kit system of weapons and skills becomes available right as you start out. You can choose to become a mage wielding giant swords. You can choose to be a hunter who tanks. You can choose to become a pet hunter that uses lances. Ultimately, it's all entirely up to you. Presumably, though, of course, once again, I'll follow this up and mention that is your original main character that you create to follow up on the story. Everything else kind of falls into the story aspect, so those characters are most likely going to be preset to begin with. They also mentioned that rescue and recruit teammates and build them up with unique equipment and skills for your exclusive forces. So not only do, of course, you have full instant support of all your character units whenever they're out on the field, but of course, many of them will be swappable and changeable based on who it is that you choose to recruit and bring onto your party. They also mentioned that in addition to the adventure, there are taverns, forging, trade, and other activities that will become available as you travel. So in typical fashion, you have plenty of things to be able to do. One of the things that they don't necessarily mention, there is a set of mini games, but we do know that plenty of more recent RPGs have had some really interesting mini games and even card games alongside that. That's something that a lot of players choose to kind of focus on, so we'll have to wait and see what they try to do here. However, they do mention that taverns usually are for hanging out and drinking and getting some conversations with your characters. Forging basically means upgrading armors. Trading means getting rarer materials from places that are hard to access at the very least early on. And they do mention other activities, so maybe a post-launch support will add one of those mini game type things. Lastly, they also mentioned that on the basis of the world outlook, linked characters make the journey more interesting and full of surprises. Now, I do wonder if they mean linked as in like two characters who have high friendship or a high bonding type thing, or do they actually mean linked as in like marriage or as a couple or as a pairing? It is interesting to see what they try to do with that, but again, based on the information that they're providing us right now with their blog update, they don't necessarily go into full detail. But do remember once again that Arisen Force Vonimir is set to release onto the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, and on PC via Steam next year. So ultimately, they have a lot of time to work with here, and they are not going to be rushing into anything. And for me personally, because I'm such a big fan of HD 2D games, this certainly looks like one that I want to not only be able to play a little bit of, but also if I get the possibility to be able to review it. So of course, as we get closer to launch, I'm going to be talking about this game closer or a little bit more as I finally be able to get my hands on it. And I do want to quickly mention that I am working on a new HD 2D video for kind of showcasing all of the HD 2D games that were revealed as part of 2023. This game included, for sure, is going to be part on that list as well, since I'm a big advocate once again of HD 2D games and deck builders for that matter. We haven't seen that combination yet. HD 2D deck builder. I can't wait to see something like that prop up in the future, but certainly I'll be talking about more about HD 2D games in the near future. If you're brand new to my channel, though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.